Who's got the juice? Let's go Eastern Conference across the board here, Sean. I want to talk East playing first. We got the Magic hosting the Hawks. We got your Bulls on fire.
Yeah.
As Pete coined, the Aussie Joker, hosting the Heat.
I might go to that game. I'm in Chicago tonight.
Woo!
I may go to that game tomorrow, but I don't feel like giving money to Jerry Reinsdorf, so I probably won't. So
That's great.
Yeah. Third straight year, by the way. It's been Heat.
Well,
Bulls in the
correct me
play-in.
if I'm wrong, Pete. Third straight year, you guys Bulls would be winning a playoff game, at least one, right?
Well, yeah, they won the play in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
I think they're the only team to do that. I can double check.
I mean, I don't want to get too excited about the future. Buzelis,
He looks
Kobe
really good.
White hot, and
I saw Buzelis at the Summer League in Vegas really up close. I watched 2 full games because Bronny actually played. I watched one game to go watch him, and then I came early because Bronny played after the Bulls. And he was really good in the Summer League.
he's a player.
It's actually criminal that the first half of the year, not even, the first 50 games, Donovan had him buried on the bench. It was a classic Bulls season to a T. The guys that should be getting minutes aren't getting minutes.
Yeah.
Then they finally move off of a guy when he's at the bottom of his value in Zach LaVine. And then they start playing the guys that should play, and then the team is fun and looks better.
Well, looking at them having one of the best offenses down the stretch here, Giddy,
Playing
multiple
better
trip
defense,
dubs.
too.
Yeah, this is a year Billy Donovan. Hey, Gators caught themselves a natty. He gets inducted to the Hall of Fame. Is there any kind of vibes in Chicago with the Bulls' ultimate house money spot? They really were written off, and they traded very late in the season, coming up on the deadline to get rid of LaVine, and it's otherwise worked out for him.
Not for me. You know, I really hate when we do this in sports where a team puts themselves in a terrible position and then they get out of the position, and I'm supposed to be excited that they got out of a terrible spot the management and the team put
But
themselves
it was they traded though. You don't look at the Bulls in the first half different than the second half.
No, it is a different team, but like I'm not amped up that they're in the play-in for the third straight year and have a home game and then can possibly play the Celtics
So 4-0
or
4-0.
play the Cavs.
So they don't win a game against either.
No, they probably would. If you remember the Celtics run last year, they gave up games all the time. They did it the year prior in the playoffs. They went 6 with the Hawks. They would just give games away.
Yeah.
So I would probably think the Bulls could steal one against both teams, but I'm not necessarily juiced about it. I'm excited to see what the plan is next year. I guess it feels like they have a little bit of direction.
Yeah.
2 months ago they had no direction. Now it feels like they have a little bit of direction and can kind of lean in on Kobe, Buzelis, and Giddy. Giddy's probably the most polarizing guy.
Have you come around on him? Are you a fan?
Well, this is the thing. Giddy's always been that guy. What he is now. He was that guy for the Thunder. He would get out in the open floor, run, he'd have 15, 12, and 8. He did that all the time with Oklahoma City. But when push came to shove, he couldn't shoot and he plays no defense. So it's almost like he's a phenomenal regular season point guard that impacts. But is he good enough offensively to where you could swallow what he does everywhere else? That's the big question, and I don't really know. So
they'll beat Miami.
It's a really he's such an interesting player because I don't know. But do you max out guys like that?
I don't think so.
Are they guys you?
Well, are they empty stat? We talk about stat stuffing and empty calorie stats. Are these empty calorie stats? I don't know that they are because they're winning basketball games.
Well, piggybacking on that, the Bulls have another guy who's a perfect case example of that of Nikola Vucevic, who's the king of empty stats and no wins. So
Yeah.
with him and Giddy and Kobe White, as a Bulls fan, that's why I'm on Sean's side.
Well,
here.
because the goal here is to be like top 3, top 4 team in the East.
But you've laid out the Reinsdorf business plan.
Yeah, it's been that way for a long time.
They want to be 41 and 41, right? Or 42 and 40, whatever you say.
Pete, pull up the Bulls record the last 6 seasons.
No, but
I was looking at it. All right, because they're 39-43 for the second year in a row. They were 40-42 the year before that, and with the height with DeRozan when he was like the clutch player of the year, they were 46-36 and lost in the first round in 5 games. So that's the peak of the last decade.
I mean that's just what it's been. They try to convince everyone that they have a team that could compete in the playoffs, and they don't, and everybody knows that they don't.
Because this is White Sox ownership, correct?
Yeah, I mean, the play-in was one of the worst things to happen to Bulls fans because it gives the illusion that you made the playoffs and competed, and you get extra money for the franchise with a home game.
Sure.
But you have no real chance to make any noise at any aspect. There's no way out of the first round. You're just a play-in lated team, and that's just not where you want to be in the NBA. It's different on the West when your play-in team is 46 wins.
Fair.
These are 38, 39 win teams in the play-in on the East side. So,
well, I'm gonna take them over the Heat. But any thoughts on? Hawks Orlando.
That could be a really fun game. Like,
what, Bulls Heat?
Yeah, I think personally speaking, I have a hard time, I guess, just enjoying like it is what it is.
Well,
like,
they're your team,
I
and
should
you
probably,
understand what
like,
they could be.
Yeah.
Well, how do you come from the Jordan era growing up in it and then
true.
watch this? It's frustrating.
But it's like, hey,
Jordan lit on your head.
I know a lot of my homies that are Bulls fans that are like, look, we had fun down the stretch. Now we get a game at the United Center to get in the playoffs. That's like fun. To me, I'm like, doesn't do anything for me. I need to do a better job of just enjoying.
You're in 50-win 3 seed in the East.
I'm just getting old.
Now.
I'm getting old. This is where like the old people get cranky. I get it. I'm starting to understand. Because it's like, oh, like you should probably like. There's young Bulls fans like, I can't wait for tomorrow. It's gonna be fun. Should be a close game. They have a real good chance to beat Spoelstra and the Miami Heat.
Yeah.
And there's a history with the Miami Heat and the Bulls, and we don't like those guys. And they're like amped up for the game, and I'm like, who cares? You know? So. Maybe I gotta bring it home.
Well, you work in sports, man. It's different lens. Anything real quick on Orlando and Atlanta? I know you're high on Orlando. That's the number 1 defense in the NBA at 105 points against. Number 1. Yep. They're also 1 in blocks. So
and like last 15 games since they've gotten all the guys for the most part outside of Mo Vaughn and Suggs, they're right back to playing D.
And they went to 7. Well, they went to 7 with Cleveland last year. So like I assume they get past Atlanta. I mean no.
Yeah.
Jalen Johnson, maybe if he was playing, but it's just a different team. Too young of guys and a little Trey top heavy, in my opinion. Can Orlando make some noise? Maybe steal a series? Probably not.
It's hard to steal series against the best teams in the NBA. Like, that's the thing.
Well, do you take anything from last year going to 7 with Cleveland if they match up with them?
Yeah, that was – well, like in Game 7, what happened? They got dusted. They got dusted in 7. It was almost like, all right, we messed around enough here. Let's go ahead and pack these boys up. And that's kind of similar to I believe. Like that would have been Orlando's first playoff run. Like that's what's going to happen to the Pistons.
Right.
Like they're going to get in high leverage spots and they're going to fold because it's their first time being in the playoffs against a veteran-laden team in the Knicks. They're just not going to be able to know what to do in crunch time down the stretch.
I'm just asking you because it's the number 1 D, and if they get in these under 100 games that are Orlando to a team,
but
95.
they're the number 1 team, but they're going to be going against the number 1 offense, and they can't score themselves. So it's tough. I think it's interesting. Trae Young played the Magic 3 times this year. Without Suggs, they have no real on-ball stopper. He scored 38, 26. If Trae goes off and has a big game, and then they could plug Dyson Daniels on like Franz or Paolo.
Could be a steal.
And Paolo has a stinker. Atlanta could win that play-in game, and then
Does Atlanta become a
no.
Same thought.
Like Atlanta's like the Bulls.
Well, Atlanta's a bottom 4 D, and it always puts up points. So just different
offensively
style.
Pace. And Atlanta's kind of been hurt too.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Not as interesting.
I think this
next.
I think this Pacers Bucks series is riveting. So just to give a little history here. So they've danced 19 times in 18 months. 4-2 in the first round last year, but that was no Giannis with Dame, Hallie doing this. That team though, and we did it on the better half. They've dropped off offensively from last year. Not the same offensive club. Bucks don't have a blemish on their April record. They're undefeated. They come in with Giannis having 4 triple-doubles in his last 5 games. He's going berserk. I gave out Pacers in 7. Dame is not ruled out for the series. Only a little juice, pending where you shop, in favor of the Pacers, who, by the way, haven't had home court since 2014 at the Fieldhouse. Talk to me about this series, because I slept on it, and I kind of feel like the Bucks are not lying down.
I very much expect Dame Lillard to show up at some point in this series.
And if he does it flip you from going to Milwaukee?
You know what?
Because Milwaukee took 3 of 4. I forgot to tell you this.
You know what's
this year.
interesting in a playoff series is if you try to include someone late, it might
Like Dame?
Yeah, like Dame. Like Dame's gonna have to work his way back just like anybody else. You plug him in.
Blood clot's a unique injury,
Sure,
too, right?
And it's like even Brunson's first game back, stinker. Second game back, it was but you can't sacrifice a full game in a 7 game against a team you're the underdog against. Halliburton has been the difference for the Pacers the last 20 games. He's been really, really good. Started the season poor. He's come on pushing
dimes are up.
Yeah, pushing that 50, 40, 90 numbers with no turnovers. That was when he was special. There was like a couple month stretch last year where we were calling Halliburton the best point guard in the NBA. So he's
What do we make of the Pacers this year, though? They're less potent on offense with a similar staff. I don't know, and has Siakam taken the next level? I know he's a little banged up as well.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, I think this is what one guy wants to take over the series. I think it's Giannis.
Giannis is going to win them a game in this series by himself. So
you're leaning Indiana from just a firepower standpoint.
From just a firepower standpoint, they're just a lot deeper. Portis is back. It could get. I bet over 5.5 games.
I like that.
Yeah.
Now, just throwing this out there, metrics wise, this is a better defense with Dame off the court.
Big time.
Is there any element to Dame rest?
With Dame on the floor, they allow the most points to the point guard position in the NBA.
That's
at the point of attack, they just get fried.
Not a good team to put him in on defensively against.
No, if Halliburton's just able to do whatever he wants, that's big trouble. So, yeah, it's an interesting series.
Either of these teams get out of the second round.
No.
So just a fun, go 6, maybe 7. You lean Indiana? You lean over Indiana. 5.5.
Yeah.
And then
home court advantage for them as well. So.
And then let's get the big time enchilada here when it's all said and done. Eastern Conference Finals. The man picked all 4 of the last 4 in March Madness. And doesn't even love college ball.
You know what?
we are listening.
I'm going to take the Cavs to win the East. I think offensively, they're a juggernaut and they're super deep. And the Jaylen Brown, I'm probably overblowing the Jaylen Brown
I don't think so.
Injury. But even them at full strength, they're going to be a handful for the Celtics to deal with in a lot of different aspects. So, yeah, I'll take the Cavs. I'm a believer.
I mean, last year on the Juice Bar, you were very confident in Boston. You got them early. Do you have the same conviction?
One of the most mispriced teams in NBA history, the Boston Celtics last year.
Do you feel that same conviction about Cleveland? Like, if that was a 10 out of 10 confidence, give me your 10 out of 10.
No.
Or out of 10 with Cleveland.
A 7. But, if they play those guys in the Eastern Conference Finals, very likely, that's going 6-7 for sure.
Right.
So, especially with how high variant, this is the thing about Boston. They play extremely high variance offensive basketball.
I know.
They go cold, they're dead. Done.
They are. They're a 3 team.
And they have a lot of guys that can really shoot it. I honestly think the Cavs have more ways to win than the Boston Celtics.
You just look at this Kenny-led team versus Bickerstaff, completely different confidence.
Yeah.
Dog they didn't have with, even though the Bickerstaff's defensive guy.
They legit are bringing guys off the bench that are Ty Jerome.
Strus with 5 trays against the Knicks.
Strus is in a perfect situation for him in his game. Then you got Hunter. Then you got Sam Merrill. You can throw Dean Wade in as another big. If they need to get guys to Dean Wade could essentially float around the perimeter with Porzingis, and you could keep Jared Allen by the basket and have rim protection. I like the Cavs a lot, man. I think that they have been getting their respect, and Boston is on there. You got to beat the champs. You're not the champs till you beat the champs, and I think they're getting a little extra juice because of that.
Yeah.
And I'll take the Cavs to win the East.
My reservations about Mobley and Allen, I think, irrelevant in the regular season. I think these guys' ability to maybe get pushed around in the paint. I mean, Mobley's a thin dude. He's very lengthy. He's a very good defender.
Who's going to push them around?
I mean, Mitch Robb. Let's start there. Let's start with some Knicks.
But he's not an all. Well, Cat, maybe. But, there's just not very many guys in the paint that are going to push them around. It's more than anything guards trying to finish at the rim and have to deal with.
Well,
I
don't know if I have the utmost confidence in Garland and Mitch and D. Mitch to do it.
I don't know, man. Ask Jaylen Brunson the other night how he feels about Garland being. I mean, Garland destroyed those dudes coming down the stretch. I think Garland is.
You think he's underrated?
I think he's an all-star. He's properly rated. He's an all-star guard. I think he's properly rated. But they just got so many options.
I think Cleveland lays an egg. I'm taking the winner of Boston Knicks to be in the finals, and I'm going down for the fourth year with.
To win the title, the winner of the Celtics Knicks.
Just for this is our East pick.
Yeah.
So I got the Knicks past Boston in 7, maybe 6. All the way to the finals.
This is the really nasty thing about the whole Knicks situation is that they are gonna have to go through Boston to potentially then play the Cavs.
Correct.
That's a nasty.
Well,
two-pack.
I think the Knicks mentally own Cleveland until proven otherwise. We're talking about a Jalen knee and a mental edge.
Oh, you're talking about in the playoffs because of a couple years ago.
100%. Mitchell was on that team. A lot of those boys were on that team.
A lot of guys that weren't though too.
Look, they don't have the depth they did now a couple years ago, but I'm going down with the boys across the
street. So you're going with the Knicks?
Go with the Knicks out of the East.
I'll go with the Cavs. Wow, no Celtics. Dude, I hate the Celtics, man.
We all hate the Celtics.
I hope they get cooked.
All right, come back with us for the West here, breaking it all down on the Juice Bar. Make sure to check out the Juice Bar across all mediums. We're on Apple. We're on Spotify. Sean Little at Chicago Flow. Alex Monaco at Moneyline Monaco. We are rocking every week at MSG Networks. Tune in.